And I want to welcome to the show Lynn Sabian, who is the marketing manager of Capital Center for the Arts. And she's here for the Curtain Call segment, which is the first and third Thursday of each month at 3 o'clock. And she's also brought us a guest with her, Jiffi Rainie. And she has been part of the Capital Center for the Arts. She tells me most of her young life. So we'll be hearing from her about a new concert series. So Lynn, I'm pleasure to meet you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So why don't we just jump right into it and what's happening at the Capital Center for the Arts here in Concord?
Well, this is going to be a very busy next couple of weeks or so. On this coming Saturday, we have country western artist Jamie Johnson will be coming for a performance at 8 o'clock. There are still tickets available if anybody is interested in that show. And earlier in the day, we're having the Metropolitan Opera live in HD. They're going to be doing Don Giovanni.
Now, there must be love and murder in Don Giovanni.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm thinking, okay.
And what's really wonderful about this is that it's on our large screen up in HD so that you don't have to drive into New York City. You get to see it right there.
Oh, wow.
You get all the camera angles as if you're watching a TV show. In some respect, you actually get a better performance than if you're there because it really zooms in. You get to see the faces of all the actors and hear what's going on. They have special events that are going on behind the scenes during intermissions. You get to hear what's going on there.
Okay.
It's absolutely a wonderful date afternoon if you're around.
Right, and you get the surround sound,
You
right?
do.
Because you're sitting in this gorgeous theater. Okay, so what else is happening this month?
Well, on Saturday the 29th, we have a Scandinavian duo in our Spotlight Cafe, which is a pop-up venue that we have on the first floor when you walk into the Capitol Center. It's an intimate venue. There's it seats about 250 people.
Wow.
It's a really great way to get up and close to recording artists that don't usually do the circuit around here. And there's also regional favorites that come in on there.
And Jay was very keen to know if Mr. Senator Sanders was going to be live and in the flesh.
He is going to be live and in the flesh
Okay.
on November 21st after the election. So,
Just in a sidebar there.
Love him or hate him, come on in. He's got a new book that he's going to be talking about, and he's going to be talking about some of his experiences on the campaign trail.
Okay, so that's November, but I know you've
That
got
is
some
in
more
November.
Halloweeny, some great Halloween event coming up here
We do.
Cumberpatch there.
Yes, the National Theater Live,
Yeah,
and that is Frankenstein. That's going to be on Tuesday the 25th.
the 25th. Okay. And all of this is, what's your website if people just want to go and recap?
CCANH.com.
Okay, easy way to buy. Can you buy tickets right there online?
You can buy tickets online. And we also have some shows for which you don't need to purchase tickets, and that's part of the reason why we're here today.
Okay, and that's why you brought Jiffi Rainie along with you?
You bet.
To talk about
this
that.
coming Friday, we're having Pirates of Penzance, the Gilbert and Sullivan show. The show has been sold out for quite a while. If somebody really, 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 really wants to come see it, we do have some standby tickets that are available because sometimes people order tickets and then by the time it's the night of the show, they're not able to come for some reason or another. So we're usually able to accommodate people that want to come in that way. So don't let the fact that it is sold out deter you if this is something that you really, really want to do.
Okay. And I have a picture of the cast in front of me, and they look excited to be in this production.
I'm sure they do. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to have some wonderful Gilbert and Sullivan here at the Capitol Center and for the residents of Concord and surrounding areas at no charge. So I know we've had the New York Gilbert and Sullivan players here before, and they always put on a fabulous show and worth a lot of money if you see it elsewhere. So this is a chance, and the tickets are all gone. However, those of you who have been around for many years know that if you show up, as Lynn said, at the door before the show, that anyone who's not seated by
15 minutes
15 minutes prior, 7:45, those seats go up for grabs. So I encourage everybody. We usually have long lines outside, and hopefully we can get everybody in. So don't be hesitant to come down and hang out and meet some folks, and we'll hopefully get you in. So the sold out is really a
Relative term.
It is, yes. It's considering the price is zero. So, but please do come down, because the worst thing is to have all the tickets gone and then have a handful of people or a lot of people not come for whatever reason, and then nobody else is there to take those seats. And so please do come, and I'm sure we'll be able to find you some seats.
Now, I'm just as not being as familiar with Capital City for the Arts as maybe it would behoove me to be. Why are we able to offer this for no admission?
The Capital Center for the Arts is actually kind of just the home of the Gile concert series. And the Gile concert series is not affiliated specifically with the Capital Center for the Arts. And there's a long history there, but we don't have time for that. But I will say that back in actually in the 50s, a woman named Helen Gile decided that she was going to leave a legacy on behalf of her father. And the Helen Blake Gile will of 1952, she wrote this, and if I can just say what the will basically says is, I desire to create and establish for the benefit of all the citizens and residents of Concord a memorial and tribute to my father, William H. Gile, believing that this end can best be attained through the medium of community concerts, which all of the citizens and residents of Concord can attend without expense to them. I hereby establish the William H. Gile Community Concert Trust Fund. Now, since then, we have kind of dropped the community word because we don't want to confuse it with the community concert series that's also in Concord and is at the auditorium, the city auditorium. But the series and the way it's been presented over the years has changed drastically. I've been involved with it technically my entire life because the original committee was named by Helen. And she named my grandfather, Herbert W. Rainie, Paul Blaisdell, and Harold Blake. And as that committee morphed and folks got older, they would bring in other people to supplement those three. And many people, as they passed away, they would be replaced. When my grandfather passed away, one of his older son, Donald G. Rainie, we called Zeke, took his place. And they were both lawyers in Concord. And Zeke, unfortunately, died 1976, and so my father, Dr. Robert Rainie, took over the chair position of the three-person committee at that time and had been the chair of that committee until, you're going to catch me lying here, but until I believe it was probably around 2009, we had a big, he switched gears and I took his place. So the chair has always been a Rainie, but these days the three of us who are on the committee, which is myself, Karen Landsman, who is a teacher down in Hooksett but lives in Concord, and Peter Imsey, who's part of a law firm here in Concord. The three of us work together equally, so we don't really name a chair, but that's been the pattern for the past 56 years. So,
wow, and it's been managed very well if you're still offering such a professional New York performance for free.
Exactly.
That doesn't come cheap.
Exactly, and part of the goal here is to have this great asset to the community, and as Helen said, it allows all people, regardless of their age, their income, in the area to have access to live performing arts. And we try to mix it up. Karen is very adamant about switching things up to geared towards different groups. And so we have some kids things, we have some stuff from the olden days that we love, and all tastes and ages. And
so is there a way to, it sounds like such a wonderful variety. If I'm listening, what's the best way I can go and find out when the menu or the itinerary or...
Sure.
plans for the series for the whole year?
Sure. Well, the committee gets together a lot ahead of time and much ahead of time and figures out what we think we're going to offer. And we do have a lot of invaluable assistance from the CCA staff, the Capitol Center staff, Nikki Clark, who's the executive director, and now we have Lynn here as marketing. So that's awesome. And also Viv Lewine, who helps us and meets with us on a regular basis to keep us in line and on track as far as what we offer.
Yeah.
But we have the program booklets that the Capitol Center puts out there. Very kind to give us a whole spread in the middle of the magazine.
And these are scattered about the city. That you can find the programs, or they're just given out at
they're mostly at the Capitol Center. But the
Okay.
best way to get it is to become a member, and then
Always the
you'll get them in
best.
the mail,
Yes.
and that's key.
And you can read it, and when you're snuggled in your
Yes.
bed with your cup of tea or
That's
your coffee or
right.
whatever
That's
you
right.
use that evening to go to sleep.
Yes,
That
and
would be the best
These
way.
Gile tickets, because they're free, we put them up for grabs a month prior to the show.
Okay.
In the past, we didn't have to do that because we had tickets, and that's changed again. So now we just put the tickets out a month in advance because we don't want people to buy tickets in September for something in May and then forget all about it.
Exactly.
Because then that's misleading.
Okay.
So a month ahead, you can be guaranteed that those tickets will be available on the website or in person at the box office.
Okay, so becoming a member has such tremendous value because you get a heads up, you know when these things are happening, and just to support the arts in Concord gives you a great feeling, and know that you contribute to making the city the rich place that it is. I've lived in Concord off and on, and I've always enjoyed walking downtown, going to the the different venues. So go online at
CCANH.com.
CCANH.com and see about becoming a member. And Lynn Sabian, the marketing manager at the Capitol Center for the Arts, has told me that we can expect a phone call from the executive director of the New Hampshire Gilbert and Sullivan Players, David Warner, and he's going to be telling us more about this terrific production. And I think I hear a sound.
I'm here if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you for joining us, Mr. Warner. This is Ella Pearl Monroe.
Sure.
I'm host of Gile Company, and this is our segment, Curtain Call. And we have Lynn Sabian, who's the marketing manager, and Jiffi Rainie, who is part of the Gile series. So they are just delighted to be able to speak with you this afternoon. Thanks for calling in.
Hello, all. How's it going?
It's going very well. Thank you so much for calling in today.
Sure, my pleasure.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit about the New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players and how they are helping to keep these great plays relevant to modern audiences?
Sure. Well, the company has been around since 1974, so we're in our 42nd year now. We are a repertory company in the strictest sense of the word. The same actors year in, year out do all of our performances, and we bring in new talent through auditions in New York, and they become part of the NYGASP family. But it really is it's a family. And by the way, NYGASP is the way we say the New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players in shorthand.
Okay.
So NYGASP family is quite a real thing. We tour all over the country together, as well as have a New York City season. This year, it's at the K Playhouse in the city at Hunter College. But we strive very much, actually. We believe that these pieces are timeless and that contemporary sensibility can enjoy Gilbert and Sullivan just as much as the folks who were in the audiences in 1879 when the Pirates of Penzance debuted. I saw my first Gilbert and Sullivan show when I was 5 years old, and have loved it ever since. It's been a part of my life ever since.
So you were bitten by the G and Gilbert and Sullivan bug, G&S bug, very young. Very young. I was telling Lynn Sabian, the marketing manager at Capitol Center, that I really only know the Mikado. It's but only because I think most people sing Three Little Maids,
From school.
or I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General. I think that's about.
That's from Pirates.
Is it okay?
Pirates,
Oh gosh, I feel educated now in culture.
So you'll know the music, yeah.
I
Very
know
good.
one song from Pirates of Penzance.
And I play, by the way, ladies, I play the Pirate King tomorrow in the show. So I'm not
yes.
just the executive director, I'm also performing in the show as well.
So he wants to be on the boards here. Not so secretly. Not so secretly.
I keep that down low to the very last.
Now, while putting together the program for your show, I was looking at the very impressive bios of a lot of the actors that are participating, and it seems that there are a lot of them that really specialize in Gilbert and Sullivan roles. Is that so?
Right, so that's part of that repertory company model. We do build, we trade in loyalty, and people tend to want to stay with us and stick with us. And we allow people to do other things while they work with us, so it kind of works out for everybody. And in doing that, we do. The principal players have developed a long list of credits of Gilbert and Sullivan credits. And what's great about that is that we've been committed to doing the entire repertoire in New York. And what's great about that is that with less and less resources, we can mount these wonderful productions because everybody literally has them in their head. So it's a great thing, and when you live and breathe the material, and you do it year in, year out, you become an expert at it, and it's such a specialized set of skills that doing it that way really gets the performance practice back to the way it was meant to be done when it was written, because it was written for a repertory company with people who were doing this every night, year in and year out, not just a one-stop show for an opera company or a one-stop for a musical theater company. But this is part of all of our lives. And it's been wonderful that the Gile series always recognizes that, and we've been longtime partners with them in doing these shows. Yeah.
So I don't know if you're familiar with the film Topsy Turvy?
Absolutely.
Now, is that a good picture of sort of the family life and all the sort of machinations and positives and negatives that often happen in a family?
Yes, I think very much so. It's probably one of its best qualities is its depiction of a repertory company in that sense. Yes.
Okay.
I love the film. Jim Broadbent, who is the leading actor who plays Gilbert in that film, he said publicly that it's his favorite role of all the films that he's made.
Okay.
Which is wonderful. I love it because of that very reason, that it shows the true nature of being in a company and developing a creative work. I love it for the wit and humor and charm that it captured, which is the spirit of Gilbert and Sullivan.
Exactly.
Some people feel it overemphasizes the darkness of the Dickensian period versus the light going on stage. But there's of course some artistic license in that, and there's some artistic merit to that as well. I absolutely love that. I love that film.
Good.
If someone is coming to the Capitol Center tomorrow night for their first NYGASP performance, what can they expect?
Well, the thing that I always tell people to expect is that if you're coming in a certain mood, or if your spirits are a little bit low, you cannot leave the theater tomorrow night without your spirits being lifted. Gilbert and Sullivan is the best thing for that. They can expect laugh out loud comedy. And to your very first question, we do embrace contemporary energy and humor and sometimes topical references into our work, which is actually historically accurate. Gilbert and Sullivan, even their own lifetimes, bring contemporary or cultural or local references into their shows to make them more alive for the people who are seeing them. So they can expect laugh out loud comedy. They can expect great dancing. We incorporate a lot more movement than a lot of other companies do in our work. They can expect the absurdity of Gilbert and Sullivan and the wit and humor of topsy-turvydom and the modern major general who knows nothing about military tactics, but he knows a lot about the elements table and science and math and all sorts of things that he just likes to list off for us. They can expect wonderful characters that are lively, and of course beautiful music and above all wonderful voices. That's what our company's known for.
So truly a very quality, family-friendly production.
Yes, there's another great thing that is really true is of all the performing arts, Gilbert and Sullivan is wonderful for three or four generations of audience, because young children, as I can tell you from personal experience, get a whole another plane of enjoyment out of it. They're being exposed to something that is just got catchy tunes and great characters, and it's funny, and they get some of the humor, and it's wonderful. Their parents will remember possibly growing up with it in the early 80s with the Kevin Kline and the Linda Ronstadt production in the movies. The grandparents will remember the doily cart, and the great-grandparents will have exposed their children to the doily cart. So it's really a multi-generational appeal to this material, probably one of its best qualities.
And this is really in keeping with the whole idea of the Gile series, is to bring these quality performing arts to the people of the greater Concord area.
So you said you have a long collaboration with the Gile series.
That's right.
Okay, because this is my first exposure to the Gile series, and I'm very proud to say it's part of New Hampshire.
Okay, yeah. So we performed, I believe, with Gile. We performed. I know we.
I was just looking through our history, but it hasn't really been updated very well.
Mr. Wannan.
So it must have been after. It must have been in the 2000s.
And
right.
Jiffi Rainie was just trying to catch us up to date on how long the NYGASP has been working with the Gile series.
I know for over 10 years we've been doing full productions, and I believe we even did I've Got a Little Twist, our hit cabaret act that shows how Broadway came out of Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. Yeah, and I don't, my history isn't as current as it should be right now. But you're absolutely right. I do remember that very well. That wasn't very long ago.
It wasn't. It was maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That was awesome.
So what is the best way for people to call? Can people call and find out if there's still tickets available? They just have to show up tomorrow night.
Well, they can do it either way. They can either call our box office and see if they can get some standby tickets, or yes, just show up tomorrow night. Well, our policy is we try not to turn anybody away for these performances.
Okay, because now that they've talked to David, is it Wannan?
Yes, Wannan.
Wanted as the Pirate King, there might be a few more people coming out of the woodwork in Concord tomorrow night. So I want to thank you, Mr. Wannan, for joining us on the show. He is the executive director of the New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players. And break a leg.
And I'll see you
Thanks
tonight
very much.
Backstage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm sitting here with Jiffi Rainie and Lynn Sabian. They're both from Capital Center for the Arts here in Concord for our Curtain Call segment. And there is so much going on, but certainly this seems to be the liveliest, where people might be tapping their toes and singing along. Is that allowed?
Oh,
That you
of
can
course.
sing along to your Gilbert and Sullivan? All of us want to be a soprano. What's the name of the female lead? Not the actress, the character. Do we know? I don't know. I think of Gilbert and Sullivan as just one big production of everything all
Right.
mishmashed together. So that's what I'm thinking. But
Oh boy, you got me. I know it's Frederick, and why
Oh,
can I not remember
no.
that? I should
Let
know
me
that. I hope
see.
my mother's not listening. She'll be mad at
well,
me.
you know, there's a lot of Gilbert and Sullivan characters. So maybe this will help me brush up on my Gilbert and Sullivan
We should
history.
have asked him. The Pirate King would know.
The Pirate King should know, but certainly I know they were often sort of accused, or there was this thing that a lot of the shows began to be look the same kinds of plots and stuff. But it's like, so what if you got the same plot? You've got different music, different costumes. It's okay. I mean, it's boy gets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl. It's still wonderful to see and listen to.
Well, there's always been common themes
Yeah.
in theater, and there continues to be till
Yeah.
this day.
So I have no problem, with repetitions of a plot or something, because every day your life is a repetition, pretty much the same plot, right? And you try to find the funny parts to keep you going. So,
And I'm sure you have favorite books that you want to read
Oh,
over and
yeah.
over again, and
Yep.
they're like comfort food almost.
yeah, Mr. Warner was saying, you have generations that come. I was forced to sit down in front of TVs and watch Rodgers and Hammerstein, when I was in grade school, and it's like, how many other kids 10 years old have to learn the lyrics to Carousel? But now it's like, I can sing all the lyrics to Carousel, and I really feel happy about that. So before we have to go, any last parting words for our listeners of maybe repeat the times and the locations of the Capitol Center and all of that?
Well, sure. Pirate of Penzance is tomorrow night, 8 o'clock at the Capitol Center for the Arts. We're at 44 South Main Street. If anybody has any questions about the show, they can give us a call at 225-1111. They can also find us online at ccanh.com, or just come by our South Main Street box office. We're open till 6 p.m., and we'd love to meet you.
Definitely. And lots of parking, certainly all around that area. There's all new parking spaces.
Well,
yes?
it's been a little trickier with the
Yeah.
downtown construction.
Oh, they
That's,
put the medians in.
That side has not been reopened yet.
Okay.
When we have shows, we usually send out pre-show emails to people letting them know how is the best and most convenient way to get in out of our venue.
Okay. But Gilbert and Sullivan fans, I think, are pretty inventive, pretty ferocious. So I'm sure that won't keep too many people away, I wouldn't think.
We've had some pretty tenacious patrons coming in. We've been very fortunate that our patrons understand that all the improvements that are going on downtown and just, what a wonderful community it's helping to make. And we're doing everything we can to welcome them.
Well, I appreciate all the work that you're doing with the Gile series to make Gilbert and Sullivan available to anyone despite any kind of economic constraints. So that's always positive. And the Capital Cities for the Arts has contributed for years to Concord's reputation as a fine city.
Agreed.
So you do not have to be a member to get these tickets
Right.
for Gilbert and Sullivan. It's open to anybody in the community, first come, first serve. We have a number of other shows coming up over the year. The U.S. Army Field Band Jazz Ambassadors, that's a Gile series show. That's going to be on Wednesday, November 9th. On Tuesday, January 31st, we have the State Ballet Theater of Russia doing Cinderella.
Oh, okay.
On Tuesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, Alexis Cole, who is a wonderful jazz vocalist, will be coming.
In the Spotlight Cafe, that's a spotlight.
In the Spotlight Cafe. So, that's something
Intimate.
that you're really going to want to grab those tickets as soon as they become available a month ahead of time. It's a great way to spend Valentine's Day with someone that you care about. And then finally, on Tuesday, March 7th, is Drumline Live.
Drumline Live.
Yeah. The movie that came out, Drumline.
Oh, well, see, I've learned so much just sitting here in the last 40 minutes. I was not aware of that film, so that is something I'll have to look up.
Marching bands.
My sister was in a marching band. I have affinity for marching bands. So a wide variety of programs for all kinds of
Yes.
people, all very family friendly and easy
Most
to
of them.
find.
Yep.
Most of them.
Yep.
And a great series that now I have learned about. So thank you, ladies, for joining me today here on Kale and Company. I have Lynn Sabian. She's a marketing manager from Capitol Center for the Arts. And Jiffi Rainie, who is part of the managing board of the Gile series, which offers free concerts at the Cap Center, available to the public free of charge. You don't have to be a member. So just go online and at CCANH.com, and there's so much information on there, and think about becoming a member. So thank you, ladies, again. Enjoy this lovely autumn afternoon.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having us.
And the Gile Committee will be in the lobby if you want to speak with us tomorrow night.
Okay. So there'll be the ladies with the two loveliest beaming smiles in the lobby. So you'll be sure to find them.